Hello dear viewer, welcome back to KSP Contracting, and we have today episode 2 with the first viewer submission by viewer Roel. Thank you very much, and it came with a note. It says top secret at the top, and I'm assuming that means an invitation to broadcast it to the world. Contents read: Dear CEO of the Kerbal Space Program, first of all let me congratulate that the Kerbal Space Program on its first launch. You have already outperformed your predecessor by not killing your valuable craft used during your first mission. This leads us to believe you can be trusted to fly our Greiswolf Orbital Goo Organizer, or GOGO, into space and take some samples we need for some totally not ethically questionable experiments. If you accept this mission from Greiswolf Incorporated, we require you to do the following. 1. Fly the GOGO into space and circle Kerbin at least once. While doing so, take 3 goo samples and store them in your capsule. Ignore software glitches about data storage. Recover all scientific data, and you can use the gear button to deploy the landing legs, we think. Don't worry about killing the Kerbal, but one needs to go up in order to store the experiments into the capsule. Feel free to reorganize the stage setup. Our engineers are expert welders, but our programming isn't our forte since our IT personnel was involved in a horrific accident. Oh, and by the way, don't try and land the whole thing on Kerbin with the canisters attached. They double as containers for some excess waste that we would rather not have back on Kerbin. Yeah, I like how the IT personnel was apparently sacrificed and they covered that up by a horrific accident. That must only be marginally better. So, we'll have a look at the craft in a moment. But first, we are going to adhere to our rule, which is only 1 launch per 30 days. So let's time warp those 30 days into place. That's still going on hours, so there we go. The day says it's in the top. Day 20. Day 30. Wonderful, there we are. Now, of course, we need to track one more. Let's track this asteroid that's like huge, and oh, it's not actually close. I thought it was right next to the planet by like 10 kilometers, but we'll do this one because as the rule says, once I hover over it we have to do it. It is really close. It is really close. So let's track that. Oh god. We have a huge asteroid discovered right there on a collision course with Kerbin, and we have only the GOGO to do something about it. We might have to try that. We might have to try that. Sorry, Greiswolf Corporation. We will see your ship launched, but it might be expended in a last-ditch effort to redirect this asteroid. So let's have a look at the ship. We got the Greiswolf Orbital Goo Canister, and this is it. It's got a few boosters. We are free to rearrange the staging. Boosters first, I think, is a decent way to go. Let's then separate the boosters, fire the outer stages, and save the inner engine for last. Yes, I'm going to flip this around so I can have the option of lighting this as well and then separating. And then we have a separation, and the parachute seems reasonable enough. So who is going to go up into the heavens? It will not be Jebediah, it will be Hubbard Kerman, and he is going on an impromptu asteroid redirect mission, which we spotted quite a bit too late. A Class E asteroid coming in to hit the planet, and we have an experimental orbital craft to redirect it. Will that succeed? That's a good question. That is definitely a good question, and it's so close already. Let's have a look. What inclination will we have to launch in? This is of course coming in that way. That means we are going to launch. Oh god. If we launch like that, yeah, we're going to launch like 45 degrees up. No. We should launch down. We should launch 45 degrees down, and then we can hopefully adjust that. we shall see what happens, where this impacts, if we can even make it. First things first is, will this make it to orbit? After all, this was not even close to being designed for asteroid interception. But hey, we may as well. And I think we can chuck all hopes of actually redirecting it out the window. Although perhaps we can do it with a purely kinetic impact, where we just hit it really fast. That would knock it off course a bit. But then, of course, that wouldn't be very nice to Hubbard. A Class E impact to the planet would definitely rattle some cages. People would get scared. It wouldn't destroy the planet. The asteroid's not large enough for that. But it might serve to marshal some interest in the space program. If we, however, can visit it, we can do science, and we can return with a big payload of science. Let's, however, first see where we end up with this barely controllable booster contraption. I'm trying to keep it aiming more straight up, but that's proving difficult. So, now going on the liquid engines, that should be a little bit easier. Here we go. This is providing a lot of boost. And I'm forgetting to do my science. That's of course not good. I have goo canisters, and I know the mission recommendation said to do them all in space, but I'm going to ignore that and do some in the atmosphere as well, because that way we get some more science. And hey, how's Griswolf gonna tell? There's not ever been orbital goo experimented upon ever. It's a little bit tricky to control this. I think the asteroid is definitely out of the question. We're not going there. Let's see if the SES can do it. The SES can do it just fine. It's like, oh, this is really difficult to control. Just have to press one button. I am aiming far too low though. I have to aim higher up to get out of the atmosphere first, and only then start establishing orbit. No, the one button cannot do this. Oh god. Where are we going? Okay, ditching these outer things, and we are now on our last stage, spinning wildly, but we are going up, and that's good. And now it's really controllable. That's wonderful. So there we go. 1200 meters per second. I think this counts as the upper atmosphere. So let's take another sample. Keep that data. And it's time to pitch over more. How on earth... Oh yeah, this was... I wasn't intending to launch this way. That just kind of happened. I was thinking, how did I figure out to launch this way to meet the asteroid? That makes no sense. But yeah, I actually wanted to go the other way. But yeah. It's at 11,000 kilometers and falling. This is going to hit... This is going to hit... Well, it's going to hit in the night side. We don't like the night people anyway, but... This is going to hit really soon. Let's see if we can establish orbit this way. And I did say there would be penalties for letting asteroids crash. Maybe we should just lose an astronaut, one of the 10 precious astronauts. We can say he was observing the fall and it just landed on him or something. It has now become obvious that we definitely need asteroid guardian ships that are permanently on standby to prevent just this from happening, and we are not going to rendezvous with it. It's impossible from this orbit. If we set it as a target, yeah, we might fly over the impact zone though to do some damage control. That's yes, the mission was the purpose of the mission always. We are just going to look from orbit as it falls onto our unfortunate neighbors. So let's do the GOO observation for the space one. And the crew observation, can we do that for 1 point more? No, we can't. So let's go ahead and collect that wonderful data. Jetpack on over there. EVA report. Highlands again. Everything is highlands these days. Oh well. And maybe we can see the asteroid. That would be fun. But that would be a lot of luck. Collect the data. You can't really expect the Kerbal on his first ever orbital flight to you can't expect the Kerbal on his first orbital flight to catch and redirect a Class E asteroid. That's unreasonable, but it will provide a good impetus for the space program to develop. So that's you, contractors. Make me ships that will deflect the asteroids. They can be impactors if that in fact works, or they can be soft landers that grab the asteroid or mosey up on against it if we don't have the claw thing yet, and well, push it away. Now we need to do one orbit, and even though these Greiswolf instructions are mere guidelines, we are going to perform the orbit and do EVA reports every now and then, because we want the science, of course. Kerbin's water, wonderful. Board. And what kind of terrain would we find here? Highlands again. It's all highlands on this planet. Let's see what we have here. Mountains! Hooray! And some new science points, which is of course always good. And what do we have here? We have night. Fortunately we also have lights. Where is our guy? Here. Grasslands, we had that already. Alright. Oh, it looks like the asteroid is not going as fast as I thought, but we can be sure that that will definitely hit the planet within 30 days. Which is the time we need to do a new launch. So we're going to incur one asteroid strike already, right here in episode 2. Hey, and we're above the water again. Oh, we had that already. Yeah, dump the experiment. Right, it's time for a deorbit burn to get us back home. Going to do that from the map view for ease of control. Or are we in fact... No, we are going to do some orbital surveillance to see when this asteroid strikes. No, we're not, because I can't warp above 100 times. Or I could switch to the asteroid. Can we switch to the asteroid? Is that allowed? No, it's not. So we are going to deorbit anyway, because I am lazy and I don't want to wait, and I'm just going to shut my eyes, plug up my ears, and pretend that asteroid doesn't exist until it crashes right on top of one of my astronauts. I think that's a decent punishment. On the one hand, it's a bit of a pity that there is no big consequence for letting an asteroid hit. On the other hand, it would be a major bummer if you just start your game and then this happens, and then you're just done. So, yeah. We spotted this one very late, though. It was like, yeah, well, it was right there, just heading for the planet. Anyway, enough about that asteroid. Let's do time warp. Oh shit! No time warp. We have to get back into orbit because... What? It said not to bring the canisters back, but then the pod doesn't have any propulsion, so the canisters are going to come back. I'm sorry, Greiswolf. They are going to come back for sure. And we are also going to land at night, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, time warp. I know I could have squeezed a little bit more science out of the EVA reports, but they're very tedious to do, so yeah. We're going to be stuck with this science. So separating the capsule. I'm spinning up the rocket to give it a little bit of distance. There we go. And I will immediately deploy the parachute. No, I will deploy the parachute when we're down lower. So you can do that with a little bit of physical time warp so that it doesn't take forever. That's our engine stage going down there. And I think Hubert Kerman will in fact land safely, because he's a green-skinned man of wonder. Is he going to land anywhere near the impact zone of this asteroid? In fact, he is. He is going to land like right next to the impact zone of that asteroid. So hopefully they can recover him quickly enough so that he doesn't like die that way. Right, here we are entering the thicker part of the atmosphere at a mere 28 kilometers. I think we're going to be packing on the G-forces again. And let's see if we can indeed deploy the landing legs by pressing the gear key. That worked fine. Wonderful. And now we just wait until the atmosphere slows him down. We can deploy the parachute and catch some science. Now Nathan, one of those faithful viewers, another one of them, also has been talking about sending me some airplane, and I've not really had any experience with airplanes yet, but I think it'd be fun to give his one a shot. So I reckon with the science we will no doubt get from this endeavor, we might have to get some airplane parts. And of course, if you're watching this and you're saying, what? I could have diverted that asteroid with the save, with the rocket you had, or some that I want to build, feel free to grab the persistence file. I'm going to upload it right after doing this mission, and you will be met with a Class E asteroid on a very close approach to the planet, and a limited technology tree to fix that with. So if you're so inclined, I wish you good luck. I will be happy to see your efforts. In my universe, though, I think the planet will have to absorb a hit. Hey, is this the Kerbal Space Center? I don't think it is. Where are we? We're at night. Yeah, that's sufficiently informed. As always, if you want to see more parts, design a ship from the research notes that I will unlock soon, send it to me and you will see it in action in the next episode. It might do the intended mission as I did with rules today, or it might be repurposed to deflect an asteroid or do something else that comes up. But if no other considerations apply, I will try to, well, do the mission you had in mind with it. We're going to land on the beach. I think that's a first for a space program. Landing on the beach, we do care about our personnel. This is nice. It is night and it should provide a stellar viewing spot for a asteroid entry. Yeah. It's time warp to the ground where Hubert can take some beach samples, take them home to the KSC, and maybe it's not so much a beach as a cliff. Well, we still care about our personnel. Let's see, here we are in the water. Is it in fact possible to EVA the guy that he survives? I think it is. Yeah, can we get reports? Grasslands? Surface sample? Well, it counts as grasslands, fine. It doesn't, however, allow me to get back into the capsule. So I'm going to have to recover these separately, which is fine. And then we're going to have a look at the R&D station. If you have suggestions for how to deal with this asteroid, or how to lament it, or how to punish the space program for letting one slip by, please do let me know in the comments, in the forums, or through an email with your craft. And if they're fun, I shall implement them. I'm having a bit of trouble though deciding something that is appropriate, fun, and recoverable from. You could just say, well, yeah, this destroys the space center, no more videos, but probably not going to go with that. So recovering this vessel. Ooh, 50 science points from that one. So let's head on over to the R&D building and spend that cash. Right, we have 67 points, which we could spend on this, which is silly, just fuel tanks. Not too interesting. We could spend it on this, tricouplers and launch clamps. Nice, but not too interesting. A cockpit, a wing, SAS wheels. Nice. Or this. We're going for not quite for the planes yet. Sorry, Nathan. But the science and the batteries first, because that is important stuff here. So, getting this node, and I will now proceed to upload the SFS, render the video, and put that on YouTube for all you to enjoy. Thanks for watching again. Next video we will observe the asteroid as it demolishes one of our fair cities, and then proceed with the launching of little green men into space like nothing has happened. So, see you next time. Be sure to send in your submissions. And once more, thanks for watching. Bye.